everybody. It's been a long 10 days, hasn't it? Very excited to officially announce. Mike Zarin flew to San Diego this morning to sign the contract with Gordon Hayward in his home or his gym, I'm not quite sure, very early this morning, and grateful for Mike doing that. We're very excited to have Gordon and Robin and their 2 children join our Celtic family, and we think he's a fantastic player, a great fit into our system. Very unselfish player that is multifaceted and multi-positional and fits in great with what we're trying to do. Very excited to have Gordon on board.
What was the build-up leading into it? I know there's a lot of anxiety for Celtics fans, the 4th of July and the days leading up to it. What was it like for you guys when he finally announced it?
It was nerve-wracking, quite honestly. I think that we were hopeful when we felt like we had a great meeting with him on July 2nd and had a good day with him. When he left, we felt good about that, but we also know and respected his ties to Utah and his meeting also with Miami, a very good organization. Have a great deal of respect for us, so we really had no idea. He didn't really give us any hint when he left, and so we were just waiting like everybody else, like the rest of the world, when it came out with a premature report that he was coming to Boston, and when I heard from his agent that that wasn't true, that he had not made a decision, I went, oh no, that could be really bad. So yeah, we were just on pins and needles the whole day until we finally got the word.
How did he inform you guys? He informed us by the Players Tribune, but how did he inform you guys? Were you with Brad with the phone call?
So his agent called me, I think right about the time the Player Tribune came out.
Danny, why is he such a good fit, and how does he continue what you have built in the last couple of years?
Well, he's a good fit because he's just a complete player. I mean, he'd fit with any team. He can play 1 through 4 positions, and he can handle the ball. He can play off the ball. He can defend multiple positions. He's a hard-nosed and very unselfish player that is capable of taking over stretches of games.
He referenced in his article, Brad Stevens extensively in their connection. How, going into it and during it, did you feel that maybe that history and that connection would play in your favor?
You know, I wasn't sure. I don't think Brad would be sure. Brad, I'm sure, will address this himself. But my feelings were that it could be a benefit. It could hurt us too, in the fact that they had such a strong bond years ago that you might not want to jeopardize that bond by getting into the stress and pressures of again, a completely different circumstance. So I didn't know how that would go, quite honestly. I know that Brad is a big part of why we're able to be in the home of Al Horford and Kevin Durant and Gordon Hayward these last 2 years. I think all 3 of them, not just Gordon, but I think all 3 of them will tell you that that is a huge reason why they're very excited and interested with our team, is their fascination with Brad.
Was there something about your presentation that you thought would stick with him, or that you walked away from?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Gordon, like most basketball players, like any of the guys I just mentioned, they're interested in basketball, and they're interested in how they can be utilized and how they'll fit in with the team and the scheme, and so that was the focus of the presentation by Brad and by our organization, is how he'll fit in with us.
With the addition of Gordon, how do you guys see this team stacking up against the elite in the NBA, in particular the 2 teams that were in the finals last year?
I think that we're better. We're a better team. We've added some good pieces, with Marcus Morris coming on board as well. I think Marcus is another versatile player that brings an element of toughness and versatility to our team that we're very excited about. And but I think that we also lost Avery Bradley and Kelly Olynyk, are terrific players, and but we have some really good young players that are coming in too that really have earned and deserve a chance to play. And so I feel like our team is in a better position than we were last year for sure.
What about expectations, Danny? Do you expect that the team will respond to the obvious raised expectations of what a Hayward addition means to this team?
I like high expectations. You know, I felt like the outside world had probably higher expectations for our team than I even did last year, but I never tell the team that. I don't want to put a ceiling or a cap on what they're capable of doing. I think that comes from within a team each year, and their own belief is what really matters. And so I'm okay with high expectations.
When's Gordon going to be in Boston?
Not sure. Probably September. Yeah.
Danny, did the process last year help you go through it all again this year in terms of trying to land the biggest free agent on the market?
I'm not sure about that. I think that I felt like we were pretty prepared last year, and we were 50% last year, and this year we got the guy we wanted, and I thought we were very prepared this year. And very fortunate. Like I said, I mean, we've had 3 guys in the last 2 years that have really been impressed and fascinated with Brad Stevens, and I think that's a big part of it.
Danny, how happy are you that you've been able to acquire the players you have and keep your assets, namely the draft picks, the high draft picks, and do all of this?
No, that's good. I mean, it's one thing. I think that expectations come with high salaries in sports traditionally, and I think that there's a lot of people that are still living in that world. I think that when you are able to acquire players without having to give up assets, you're certainly willing to pay them more money. And so we feel very fortunate to have acquired Al Horford and Gordon Hayward with money and an opportunity to win and to play, as opposed to, you know, having to give up multiple draft picks and potential young stars.
Danny, are you looking to make any further moves this year or next year with a big player, or do you think you're all set for a while?
I don't think that we're ever all set. Yeah, I think we'll continue to try to get better. I mean, even Golden State and Cleveland are still trying to get better, and you know, every team is trying to get better. We'll continue to do that, to look for opportunities.
But any immediate needs you see that you need to?
I see some possible opportunities, but I don't think there's any dramatic needs. We need to be a better rebounding team this year, and we think that we've addressed that to some extent this summer, but we need to become a better shooting team, and we think we've addressed that. And we can always get better defensively and offensively, of course.
With the Avery trade, obviously with, you know, signing or presumably agreeing with Gordon to put you guys in a position where you had to make a couple moves, how did that affect how you were able to negotiate the trade of Avery?
I'm not sure I understand exactly what your question is.
Well, from our reports, you had to shut some salary to be able to fit in Gorwood. How did that kind of put you on a time schedule there? How did that affect, you know, leading up to that move, and how do you feel that you guys did, given?
So it was challenging. You know, we were looking at all sorts of different possibilities throughout that stretch, and the move that we ended up making with Detroit made the most sense to us of deals available.
Did his expiring contract, did that feed into, you know, all the idea of he might be a guy you might be willing to move on from at this point?
I mean, the expiring contract and the uncertainty and the flight risk, sure, that plays into part of it, absolutely.
Any final questions for Danny? Danny, on a personal level, tough to get rid of, to part with a guy like Avery?
I think that anybody that knows me over the last 8 years knows what Avery meant to me. I'm not sure I need to address that any more than has been addressed in the past. But yeah, it's always tough to trade players away, but especially someone that you've grown that fond of, that you've helped raise up and had their back for many years.
Are you guys looking for, when do you guys anticipate another evaluation of Isaiah and his hip, and be able to get a firm direction of where you go?
Sometime later this month.
Does Gordon Hayward have a number yet?
I don't know the answer to that. It's a good question. I don't know.
Do you have any other potential moves today?
No, I mean, we're still working with some of our draft picks and so forth, but I know there's been some things reported, but they're not complete yet, so we're working toward it in there. Should know more later, maybe later today, but maybe later in the week.
Anything else?